Welcome back. In this video, I'll dive deeper into the introductions for the London Bridge puzzles. The introductions and the interludes, these files can serve as little sections between melodies if you want. They should last about 4.5 seconds, which puts them right here. You can see that there is stuff hanging over the edge of that line. Now, if I took everything right here, and it's 4.5 seconds, if I took all of this and just deleted it, now it's 4.5 seconds. I'm going to undo that, and let's do this one right here, this brass solo. Or the brass, we're going to solo it, so all we hear is that. Here's the brass. And you hear that little taper? Let me cut it to 4.5 seconds. And I'm going to think, now let's hear it. Now it's only 4.5 seconds, like it's supposed to be. And it just cuts off. Music just doesn't cut off. There's a taper because it is sound. And I'm going to undo that. And let's do this one here. And this is another brass. Let's listen to it. We're going to cut it to 4.5 seconds. It's a little bit. Well, that was clipped. It doesn't sound good, and the reason is it needs to be longer. Some instruments, such as the piano, have a different shape, a different envelope, and it begins a little more quickly than a brass or wind or stringed instrument. Let's listen. There's a little bit of a reverberation. Let's cut this to 4.5 seconds, right about there. That was clipped, and the reason it was clipped is that I clipped off part of the sound file to make it the right length. The actual shape of an acoustic sound is an envelope with a beginning, middle, and end, and if you alter that beginning, middle, and end, it is going to sound terrible. When you're adding things to, if you're starting your melody here at 4.5 seconds, you may have to move the melody a little bit farther this way to make it line up exactly right when it should. What I'm going to do now is to play several of these individually and then start singing when the melody should come in. And you will see, if you keep watching right up here, you can see how far away from 4.5 I start singing. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round. And the wheels on the bus is different because it has a pickup note. So that's a little bit different than the others. I'll sing London Bridge now and you'll hear the difference there. London Bridge is falling down. Go tell Aunt Rhody. That's when it should have started. Use your ears and not your eyes. The 4.5 is merely a starting point for where you have to wind up moving the sound left or right. Here's the next one. Wake up, you lazy bones, and go and fetch the cattle. Wake. Mary had a little lamb, a little lamb. Down by the station early in the morning. When you're adding your melody, make sure you line it up at 4.5, just like it says. Listen to it and then move it to the left and to the right, depending on what you need. Okay, here's Mary Had a Little Lamb. Now, take your time shift tool, and I'm going to move this all the way to 4.5. Right here is where it should start. That's 4.5. And let's see. I will mute this one and go here. See how it was a little early? So I'm going to have to move it just a little bit. Go back to the beginning and use my ears. Still a little early. I'm going to just move it to 5-ish. Right there at 5-ish. See how that sounds. That is pretty good. Okay, it's close. I'll have to work on it as I add more voices to this. Now, just for grins, I'm going to mute this and unmute this one and see how far away this introduction is from this melody. Remember, the melody starts at 5 because this first introduction kind of required it. Let's see. Let's hear. See, there's that hole. I'm not crazy about the hole, so I'm going to move this back to 4.5-ish. And with the real Audacity template, there'll be guides up here. You've probably seen those already. Let me move this over just a touch. And that seems to work for the moment. The point here is that you have to use your ears to make sure things are where they actually need to be. Music is an oral art, not a visual art. You're given the visuals just to rough it in. To fine-tune it, you need to use your ears. I will conclude this video here. The next video is still on the introductions, and it will help you understand how to take more than one introduction and layer them so that it's a little unique. It's a little different each time. As you begin to build your puzzle, remember that you may want a pause or some sort of music between Mary Had a Little Lamb and Go Tell Aunt Rhody. This would be an interlude. The introductions can serve as that interlude.